Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warcraft Classic. Robert Rambles here, and it has been a long time since I've seen you guys. As weird as that sounds. And it really hasn't been for lack of desire to be here, but just a lot of stuff going on in real life that have honestly prevented me from being able to get on and play the games I want. Because, sometimes that happens and we have to prioritize. But I'm getting back into things here, starting on the Mage today. We've done some things on the Mage. We did a couple of the Elite quests. I wasn't set up to record when I did them. That was a while ago, but I was able to capture some video with no voiceover. So I'll go ahead and plug that in here if you guys want to watch some of the stuff that we did down in Pyrewood Village, or that I did down in Pyrewood Village for the 2 Elite quests we had, as well as a pseudo escort quest. I'll go ahead and loop that in now. And if not, just skip a couple minutes ahead, and we'll start where we are here on Fenris Isle today.
Speak quickly. Our time will come. What now? Watch your back.
And so after all that, we picked up a couple more follow-up quests back in the Sepulchre. After completing those elite quests, we picked up some Shadowfang Keep quests. And I think we have to gain another level or so before we are ready to do Shadowfang Keep, but it's definitely high on my list of things that I want us to do on this character. Right now, where we're at is we're on Fenrir Isle, and we're working on a recipe for death. So we need to bring 6 Lake Creeper Moss samples, and also Lake Skulker Moss samples, and a hardened tumor from a Murloc to the Master Apothecary in Undercity. And this is them still trying to work on creating a new plague. And the background on this quest is that we found Berard's journal in the town of Ambermill when we were doing the elite quest. So let's check out the description for this follow-up. According to Berard's journal, the moss from lake skulkers and creepers might prove useful for our quest to brew a new plague. Those beasts dwell on the island in Lake Lordomir to the east. He also mentions a very rare hardened tumor that he discovered on a vilefin Murloc. Apparently, the tumor is so rare, Berard was only able to obtain one. Collect samples of the moss as well as the rare hardened tumor and take them to the Master Apothecary Farinel in Undercity. We can get an offhand item or a cloak. We're probably going to take the cloak. And these are the guys we're looking for. They all look like this. This is a Skulker, and the Creepers are probably just a different color variant. And I don't know how many of you guys actually follow or are interested in World of Warcraft news or Blizzard news, but I guess if you have seen anything about 8.3 patch, it's been pretty split as far as people liking and disliking certain aspects of it. It really seems like maybe the storytelling and completing of the N'Zoth storyline itself, especially the ending, for most people seem kind of incomplete and lackluster. But then on the other hand, a lot of people seem to really like the new gameplay mechanics that they've introduced and the new visions and horrific visions, which can be a solo or multiplayer, kind of like a roguelike, not like a dungeon crawl experience where you have to build up corruption resistance by doing everything in the game to improve your corrupt resist on gear, and then you can get further in these corrupted visions. So that seems kind of cool, like gameplay wise, but I guess from a lore perspective, it's been kind of a big letdown for most people who are interested in the story and things like that. So ultimately, you know, I decided to skip 8.3 and just kind of cross my fingers and hope that with 9.0 patch in the far-flung future and the release of the new expansion, that they'll somehow redeem themselves and create a game and content that people actually want to play, that's engaging and involves player choice and isn't something just designed to cause endless hours of grind amongst the player base. Whether or not they'll achieve anything like that, you know, in the current day and age, who knows? We need to find more creepers. This is an elder. I don't know if that means he's more likely or less likely to drop anything for us. Yeah, we got a new wand as well, the Shadow Wand, which is only a little bit better than the Fire Wand that we previously had. I did check a Mage trainer back at level 18, and I think all we had was another rank of Fireball. We didn't have another rank of Conjure Water, surprisingly, although I feel like that must be coming up soon. Because it's taking forever to drink all of our mana back. And we're not even buffed. Which is a big fail on my part, but again, I haven't been playing much recently, unfortunately. I wonder where all the creepers are at. Maybe they're on the other side. All we're finding is skulkers. Could become an issue. It could make this quest, you know, much longer than it needs to be. For talent choices, I don't think we've done anything too remarkably different. We finished off Improved Frostbolt. Next time we get a talent point, we're going to go into Piercing Ice. That's going to be a flat damage increase by 2%, 4%, and 6% to all of our frost spells. So you really can't go wrong with those flat damage increases. Much better than taking a talent that relies on a crit or any kind of chance proc. I see a Murloc village over this way. Maybe we should fight some of them and see if we can get a hardened tumor to drop. I feel like that's going to be the rare item that maybe takes forever. We don't want to go too far that way, so we'll pull that other guy back there. Maybe we'll eventually find some creepers too. It's all just skulkers and elder skulkers. I wonder if there's going to be social aggro with the Murloc and the skulker. Oh shit, there's going to be social aggro between these two Murlocs. This is why I hate Murlocs. Murlocs are always a huge pain. Because they have like social aggro, they run away from you when they're low on health and they pull others. They call for help. And they're just jerkbags. And some of them, like this Crest, some of these guys are probably going to be able to heal themselves. So we have to be on the lookout for casters. He gouged us. That was fun. We have to be on the lookout for spellcasters because sometimes they'll have oracles that can heal themselves to full, and that's incredibly obnoxious. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's get to shore and heal up. Well, we need mana first. And then we need food, and then we need to eat and drink. Imagine that. It would be great if this first Tidecaller had what we need. He doesn't, but he has some seer boots, which are actually looking like they might be an upgrade for us. They definitely are. 21 armor, 3 stamina, which will be more health for us, and 1 intellect, which will be more mana for us. So definitely a good find. We can't see our boots because we are wearing a long ass robe dress thing. He turned the tables on us there and Frost Nova'd us. How ironic is that? These barnacle clams are annoying because we have to right click and open them to get like anything useful out. Otherwise they'll just fill up your inventory and they don't stack with each other. So you'll just have barnacled clams filling up your entire inventory if you don't open them occasionally. The things inside of them will stack if they're the same, but the clams themselves will not. Very interesting conundrum. We're getting a lot of greens, which is great, but... Two-handed sword. Intellect and stamina, so that'd be really good for a paladin, actually. Might hang on to that for a future paladin. What level was it? Level 11, that's pretty decent. Right when you get out of the starting area. Try to finish the one with the wand, but he's probably gonna break before that happens. And we got interrupted by a gouge again, it looks like. Lots of Murloc eyes popping out of their little heads, but no tumors popping out of their little heads. We are literally going around looking for the one Murloc in this zone that has like a brain tumor. I don't know how I feel about that. It definitely doesn't seem like a heroic deed. And oh, by the way, we're doing this all so we can create a new plague. We're definitely not the good guys. I don't think. I mean, we might be a good guy, but the game gives you zero choice in how you're going to execute the objectives. So, sometimes you just feel like, these seer boots, it's the second pair we've got. Maybe that means we should sell them on the auction house. I don't know how the market's doing these days. Back on the Warrior, when I first started that, there was really no market for low-level greens, probably because nobody was caring about alts. With it being Classic, I don't know if anyone's ever going to care too much about alts. Besides me, maybe. I already have too many, but it's fine. So I don't know if the market got better on this server or what, but I could check out these greens and see if I can sell them. It'd be nice to one day afford a mount. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Something tells me the first time I'll get a mount in Classic will be when I get a Paladin or a Warlock up to level 40. And I say that because they get their mounts for free. Although I believe the Warlock has to finish an epic quest in order to get theirs. I think on the Paladin it basically just gets handed to you. You have to train the riding skill, which costs like 2 gold, and then you just learn the ability to summon a war horse or war charger, and then there you go, mount. Pretty unfair, I'd say, but... And then alternately, you could be a druid, and they have cheetah form, which is a travel form. It's not as fast as a mount, but I think you get it at level 20. And that's kind of like a big help early on in the game. But again, that's not mount speed. I don't believe it ever gets to mount speed. Though I'm not sure. I know in like modern WoW, druids just have their travel form, which is mount speed, but I don't know if that's the case for Classic. I don't know if we're ever going to find this tumor, or how long like killing Murlocs can be engaging or entertaining. Nice resist. I was kind of thinking that if we made our way to some of these other island chains, we might find some of the moss creepers. But no, we do have an endless supply of Murlocs to murder, however. So that's good. Oh wait, look at that. I see a lake creeper back there. They're red and green. I see it way in the back. Okay, we got gouged. Totally fine. Yeah, sometimes I keyboard move, guys. I like to use my left hand and my right hand. So I do keyboard move and mouse move and do all kinds of stuff. And the way I would control a character while questing is not the same as what I might do in a raid. But let's face it, I haven't raided in a long time, so... Ah! Get off. Where'd you come from? Shore Creeper is right. Cannot do that while incapacitated. I'm looking forward to getting Cone of Cold. I like the instant cast Fire Blast, but we're not really speccing for increased fire damage, so it always feels like sort of a waste. These guys like hide in the trees, and as I've said before, you have to get really close before the V-bars pop up, and by the time the V-bars pop up, if they're aggressive, they've already aggroed you. Whereas in retail WoW, you can see the V-bars from a long way off, and you can basically... You're never gonna really get ambushed the way I feel like we've been ambushed many times in Classic. By mobs hiding in trees or behind rocks. It's actually exciting. Not as exciting as a tumor would be right about now. How many times are you ever gonna say that in life? Let's get this guy over here. Maybe they'll... you see that? He's hiding here. Look at that. Probably the only reason he didn't aggro is because his back was to us. Had he been looking at us by chance, he would have aggroed as soon as we rounded that tree, I'm sure of it. Alright, well no tumors, but we did seem to find an island full of lake creepers. So we can work on these guys for a minute. We still need one Skulker Moss, but we need all of these guys. I really need to be regenerating mana a lot faster is what I really need. But that's another story. Or we just need to be a lot more mana efficient, which doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime soon. I believe the most mana efficient thing I could do is simply hurl frost bolts over and over again, which as you can imagine gets incredibly boring, but may be the way that we go for mana efficiency until we get other things. I wish our wand was a little more badass, but it just isn't. And it might never be. Drop rate is not amazing, but it's better than the tumor. Everything is better than a tumor. That's not even going to give us a skill up, I realize, but we can still sell it. Speaking of skill ups, we're not doing bad. There hasn't been anything to skin, so luckily we haven't been forgetting to do that. We can't skin Murlocs or these guys. Part of me is surprised we can't herb these guys, because they look like they have flowers and stuff growing out of them, but we can't. You would think they might also take like more damage from fire since they're, you know, grassy and mossy. But I don't think they do. It's very satisfying to finish them off with a fire blast. It just is so inefficient that it's saddening. We have a chance to fall down when hit. That's very interesting. Moss-covered feet. It's something that they cast on us. That's cool. And it has actually turned our whole character green. Unnecessarily, in my opinion, but at least it tells you something's going on with your character and that you should look up here where your debuffs are at and figure out what's wrong with you. But it is kind of like an annoying total pigment change. Well, I meant for that to finish, but it didn't finish casting. Welcome back to Classic, everybody. This is what the drop rate starts to become around this level. So once you're getting close to level 20, everything just really slows down. You take a quest like this, and it could take you a while to complete this. Obviously, we've been working at it for a little bit. Part of me doesn't mind the pacing. Part of me wishes that the things we were doing would be more interesting if they were taking this much time. Like, I'd rather fight a few guys up top and then get to explore some kind of underground caverns, like, I don't know. Obviously, when you have to have a bazillion quests in your game to get a character through all the content, then it's very impossible to make all of that content even remotely interesting, and maybe that's part of the overall problem. Is that an absolute need to fill up player time that results in content that isn't always as engaging as it could be or even meaningful within the world. And so you don't get a good sense of progression, which then breaks your immersion in the game, which is when the glass floor drops out of a game and you just can't even find the effort to play it. I'm sure we've all had that happen. Maybe you're 10, 20, 30 hours into a game and suddenly you sit down to play it and you're thinking, why am I about to do this? And you just have no ambition. And I think that comes from games that fill too much time with basically snow shoveling activities, where we're not seeing really anything important about the story, we're not seeing anything really important or new about the world, we're not exploring anything interesting, we're not learning any good lore bits, we're just basically shoveling virtual snow, making that pile higher. And not all quests are like that, but when you start doing quests like this, it does start to feel that way. Obviously, older games like World of Warcraft Classic are going to suffer from this more, but you see it even in retail World of Warcraft, where there's just so much filler content to keep you playing in an endless gameplay loop that isn't always rewarding in the ways that you'd want it to be for the amount of time you have to invest. And I'm not opening all these barnacle clams. You can see they're starting to build up, but we'll have a lot of clam meat. If we had cooking, we could do something with that. I figured we'd kill a few more murlocs, but still no tumor. I sort of remember this quest from back in vanilla, how long it took my friend and I to get this tumor. And it isn't optional. We've learned that you really can't skip quests, and it's very easy to end up under level, even when you think you're kind of getting ahead. Unless you're running a lot of dungeons or grinding a lot, you really can't get ahead of the questing curve. and you're always in fear of running behind or having to go to other zones to play catch-up. It's sort of like we had to do with the Barrens for a while, and when you have to go to another zone just to gain a couple levels, it just breaks whatever story there is up so much that it's incredibly hard to enjoy it, in my opinion. Because they don't overlap. You know, the story that's going on in the Barrens and the story that's going on in Silverpine are two totally different stories, and I use the word story rather loosely, because we do have an overarching quest line to create a plague and to figure out things with Erigel and defeat him now. Everything else has been very side quest-esque. Even the quest in those chains have been side quest-esque. But if then we go to the Barrens and we go away from all of that, and then we start talking about the oases and how it's affecting the wildlife, and it's like I can only digest and keep track of one of these very loosely told zone stories at a time. It's impossible to, like, for me to keep track of both of them, and that makes it unenjoyable to be questing in 2 zones at once. But Classic kind of makes you do that. Otherwise you get behind and you're looking at a quest log full of orange and red quests that you can't do. The answer was level scaling, right? I don't really like level scaling either, so I don't know what I think my solution is. But I'm not a game developer, so there's that. I guess level scaling works when you can still make things challenging only in a certain range. I feel like you should be able to go back to older zones as a higher level character and just have out-leveled them. Maybe just smaller scaling brackets that don't scale through 40 or 60 levels, but only scale through like 15 or 20 levels. And then once you're out of that bracket, it just descales down to its default level, and then you can still crush it. So if we came back here as level 55, we wouldn't be running into level 55 Elder Lake Creepers. We would just be running into maybe like level 35. Maybe that's where they would cap and we would still feel overpowered. Random thoughts as I kill an endless amount of trash enemies. This guy is doing his daily sprints around the island, obviously. There he goes. I feel like this guy is a danger that we should take him out immediately. Because he's going to be the guy that runs up on us when we're fighting 2 other guys. Look at him, he's over here like he's all patient, but in a minute he's going to take off. We were low on mana to start that pull. That was stupid, to say the least. Let's wait for Frost Nova to come back. And then let's just create some distance. Oh! Look at this guy! He entangling roots us as we were creating distance. Oh, it's on, buddy. But this is probably the single most interesting encounter we've had on this character. Enjoy it, guys. There we go. Hardest enemy of the video. That guy was smart, man. He saw us running away and he just entangling roots us. How badass was that? Alright, well, that's probably the coolest thing that's going to happen. The other cool thing is that we have all of our creeper moss. We still need a tumor, and we have to start working our way back. Like, way back. Towards the other creepers. Or the skulkers, rather. These are the creepers. Now we need 1 skulker and 1 hardened tumor. Which, I mean, we're probably going to hit level 20 before it ever drops, so... who knows when that's going to happen. Okay, we should be able to get a few murlocs here as we carve our way back, and maybe we'll just get really lucky. I know that's like kind of stupid to say, but I'm saying it anyway. We're gonna pull this other one over here. Oh, he Frost Nova'd us. These guys have a lot of movement and parrying abilities. Everything that we're fighting over here seems to. One day I'll find out that I've been killing the wrong murlocs all along or something. I'm sure after I publish this video, one of you guys will tell me. Oh shit. Oh no! Look at this shit. I don't know. I don't like this. Not at all. We are out of mana. We can do some passive regen here, but we're kind of hurt. I'm really wondering what the smart play is here. I don't know if this is it. Smart play might have been to run away. Alright, we got it, but barely. Whew. Alright, let's eat and drink. Let's eat and drink so slowly that we never get all of our health or mana back. I forgot there was this whole other island, and now I'm not even sure. I guess I don't even know where we were fighting the original skulkers, or whatever the hell they were. They've all now disappeared, but maybe they're on the other side of this island. Underwater fighting, Robert's favorite thing. It is Murloc's favorite thing, though. That's the unfortunate thing, is that they are actually much faster in the water, so fighting them in the water is not a good idea if you're like a melee character, or if you have short range. Discovered Lordmere Lake. I'm pretty sure we already had... Where the hell are we? We've zoned over into, like, Ulthrak. There's the Dalaran bubble. We're gonna fight this guy, otherwise he's gonna aggro. And who knows, he could be our cancerous Murloc. But he's not. But he did have some ice cold milk on him for some reason. And we might never understand why. Can't eat or drink in the water, so if I want to do that, I kind of need to get to land. This guy is definitely in our way. That didn't freeze him, or did it? It did. It's hard to tell in the water when I can't see. And we got gouged. He resisted something. Finished him off with an accidental arcane missile. And we're back to the Elder Lake Skulkers. No Murloc Eye, though. No luck there. Oh, that didn't get him. Perfect. You just kind of, as you grind on so many of the same monsters, you have to fight like mental fatigue and unawareness as you just get sloppier and sloppier. The more bored you get fighting the same guys. My sloppiness comes in the fact that I totally stop paying attention to my health or mana until it's too late. That's kind of how I zone in when I'm fighting too many of the same guys in the same area for way too long. And we've all seen that happen to me many times. Especially when we're regenerating our mana so slowly, and I have very little patience for it at this point. Because it is making tedium even more tedious. And you know, everyone loves making videos that they know are going to have like an abysmal watch time. Because how much Murloc and Creeper Slaughter can you actually enjoy in your day? I mean, I'd say about 11 minutes. Probably about 11 minutes of it. Alright, here we go. This one's got a tumor. I feel it. I can feel the tumor from here pulsating beneath its slimy skin. Oh, nice move, you jackhole. But we have range attacks and you don't. No tumor. No chance that it's going to be inside one of these barnacles. Oh, hi. Hello there. I don't want to fight you at all, but I suppose I will because it looks like you just respawned. Ew, we have our hearth set to the crossroads still. So no matter what, we'll be running if we ever find our tumor, that is. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to take a break here and find this tumor all on my own. I don't think there's any need to subject you guys to that, but here we are back on the Mage. Let me know what you guys think of the Mage still, and possibly other characters. I've been toying around with the idea of checking out levels 1 to 10 on a Paladin on the Alliance side, and then maybe a Shaman on the Horde side, since those are the classes that are specific to Horde and Alliance in Classic. So Alliance has Paladins and then Horde don't, and Horde has Shaman and Alliance don't. So maybe I was thinking about checking those out. Let me know what you think. As always, I really appreciate you guys being here today. I really appreciate the support. It means a lot. And we'll see you again soon. Take care and wish me luck.